Today, I'm going to be showing you this multi-part bass that I got going on here. Sounds like this. The top part of it sounds like this. So it's this really moving, airy kind of white noise top, and the bottom bass is where all the vowel parts come from. I really like the sound of that one a lot. So for this first sound, I'm not going to get too caught up on the values because I want to teach you how to make a bunch of sounds, not just one sound. So the purpose of the top sound is to create kind of this airy white noise movement that complements the vowels. And the biggest ways that I do this is with a selective FM. So I'll explain that in a little bit. Sent through, of course, my favorite, which is just a bandpass with a notch. And then using the chorus to kind of make it sound really airy and wide, and I'll show you the difference in a second. So first thing I did was just I found a wavetable like double Bowie. I made an LFO. LFO is really no different than like LFO 3 or 4. It's just a triangle, but the difference is that I can play around a lot with the rhythm. So by just moving around. So it just gives me a little bit more freedom to play around with the sound while I make it. So double Bowie I found while moving the wavetable up and down sounded really cool. I really like. I threw on form scale and just kind of played around with these, and I found that form scale added a nice little movement towards what I was aiming for. Just a little bit. It wasn't until I put on double Bowie, which has a lot of movement, which if you put on, an FM, and from a wavetable with lots of movement, you're going to get a lot of weird voices out of it. So if I were to put this up at like 12, tons of stuff. Kind of crazy, honestly. So then I throw on the bandpass to really turn it into a growl. And then the notch just to kind of give it more. That notch going down and back is really what makes it, in my opinion, takes it kind of from a growl to more of like a neuro sounding wobble. So like let's play that difference again. We got kind of like a growly thing going on right here. And that's what's really making it sound really cool in my opinion. We have this FM 36 down on both. So this is actually the same octave, which is also really interesting. I don't always do that. This phase dispersion, I think that's what it is. This phase disperse really helps to bring out the FM into more of like I'm trying to think of a way to describe it. It helped also kind of bring out that it almost feels like a sword slashing. That's the only way I can, instead of it being like a wobble, it's more like a slash. That's the only way I can describe it. Phase disperse really helps with that. I have it going, you can see maybe like, 30%. FM going, phase disperse, bandpass, and the bandpass is at like 43 and 52 if you really, really want to know exactly what's going on here. And then also I think it's important is throwing on unison helps to kind of, widen it out a little bit. Let me turn off the chorus real quick. It doesn't do too much, but every little bit helps, you know what I mean? Now the chorus is really what takes this sound from this dry sounding. I mean, that's kind of cool too, depending on the style you're going for, but I really wanted the chorus. 16 voices. Sometimes I put this on freeze. Here, I'm leaving it on 4-1 because I like the difference. Like if we put it on freeze, it's a little too static for me. 4-1 was a really good balance. We put 31% on the depth, 4.1 on the second delay. I just messed around until I found something cool for that one. Feedback I turned down, I believe. The mix I turned up. I think that was the default. And then I turned the cut up off. And the spread left that the same. I don't really think this soft clip distortion's really doing anything. Yeah, it's not really, but I mean, it's maybe a little bit. I just have it on there for whatever reason. And then the compressor is really what... So if you're trying to make this song sound from scratch, if you don't have the compressor on, it's just not going to sound the same at all. So I have the compressor on, and I have the high up a lot. And I usually take these waves and just like that. Even take it down. There we go. Mess around with this until you get it. And then I have this typical motion going with the EQ where I have a low with a high resonance on this one. Honestly, the more resonance That just creates a lot of bass noise. So if you feel like there's too much bass going on with this, you can cut that out and clean it up a little bit right there. And then I have the notch moving as well. I go 41 from 600 hertz right here, and going all the way down to like negative 13. So that's it for this sound, really. It's just, you can play around with a bunch of stuff in order to get different sounds. It's a pretty easy way to create really wavy, cool growls. But it's not until I add in this bottom part that really helped beef it up. So let's go ahead and get into this bottom one that I did and check out what I have going on. So kind of the similar stuff going. I don't know why I have FM, because I don't have oscillator 2 on. I must have just left that on. So the wavetable, and I think that for the valley parts, the wavetable is super, super important. You have this Airy Woo Mud Pie, which I love. It just sounds so cool. I love it. I have the same thing going on with the LFOs. I have this going around. And for this, same deal. I have the bandpass with the notch. But for the notch here, I actually have that on a random. So it's just creating random stuff. I have the basic shapes. It's the sine squarey sine wave down to 36. I think it's just adding a little bass. So this is where the bass is coming from for my sound. And if we go in here, you're going to see the same thing going on where I have a chorus, I have the depth somewhere else, the delay somewhere else, feedback, cutoff, all that's the same. I just took the same patch and messed around with it. And same deal here. I have the compressors, what's really bringing the sound up. Oh man, I love that compressor. And then same deal here with the EQ. I have the cutoff moving this up, with a notch going against it. Very, very typical for a lot of the basses that I make on here. I really like vocode a lot too, for getting just weird voicey textures inside your bass. Oh. That's really cool too though, honestly. At this point, what I would do is I would mess around with the top part and try to get that cooler to match the bottom part, because that's cool. So that's pretty much it. And then when you throw them together, you get awesome. And then for the effects, all I got going on is the typical OTT on 20%. Then I have this. I cut off some of the highs because there was just a little bit too much going on right here that kind of hurt my ears. And then another OTT, 20%, and reverb. And I have it brought down a lot, so it's just kind of barely filling in, and you can barely tell it's there, but it's there to the point where it's just not a dry signal. So that's kind of it. Breaks it down real nice and simple for you. I've had this patch up on my Patreon for a while, so if you're really interested in getting a bunch of stuff, I would check my Patreon out. It's just $3 and you get over 100 presets. I've been trying to keep up with updating, but I've been caught up with life and stuff. So I promise I'll get more videos out this month, because I know I've been absent for a little bit, but I'm trying to hop back on that train and get out to you guys, because you guys are so good to me. I really appreciate everything that you guys have done, subscribing, following my Patreon, doing all of that. It's gone so much to help me in life, and I want to make sure that I, put out videos in a timely manner. So I apologize for the delay, but I do have some real nice videos planned and lined up for you guys. So be sure to stay around and check those out. That's it for this one. Ugh.